Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, traders and potential traders. This is Nuke, and I know it's been a little while since I've did some videos. I kind of took some time off for myself. Haven't stopped trading, haven't stopped doing most of the things that I do. It's just I kind of got wrapped up into some stuff. I needed to back off, size down, and reassess the positions I had on some aspects of my life, and reinvest myself, if you want to put it that way. So why did I do it? Well, first of all, I did it because I can do it. I have the flexibility that allows me to be able to step out of the grind when necessary. And I think that's important for us, because when you don't have that ability to step out, it really forces you into some places that aren't always the healthiest for you. And at the end of the day, you know, one of the things that I wanted to ask y'all is, what is your goal, right? Because one of my goals for getting into trading in the first place was to have more financial freedom, more family freedom, more ability and control over my own life, right? So one of those is health. And if I need to take a break from what I'm doing professionally to take care of myself, mind, body, and soul, well, I think that's a good investment. I needed it. You know, I had a lot of things going on. Life was getting really busy. I was trying to pound out 2, sometimes 3 videos a day. And I have a very raw style. I don't like to do a lot of editing. I'd rather just, this is me, good luck. You know, I'd rather, you know, if you're going to get a glimpse into my life and what I'm doing, I'd rather it be more or less like you're sitting across from the table or over the shoulder with me. Not like you're getting some edited professional video product that's just marketing and salesmanship, right? This is just a chat with a dude that does trading. Still going strong, and one of the changes that I have made is that I just went independent. You know, I've been associated with a couple of services in the past, and, you know, there's been great highlights to those experiences, and there's been relatively few downsides to those experiences. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of at the point where it's I just want to deal with my own circus and my own monkeys, you know, and not really to get into anything, but it's just, this is a very touchy place, and anytime you involve money, monetary gain, regulations, you know, and business, it's a very difficult place to be without people encroaching upon each other, or personal views that quickly move over and impact other people and how they do business, how they see things, you know, and it gets pretty heated pretty quick. And that's not why I'm here. I'm not here for any mudslinging. I'm not here for any kind of like, you know, trash talking or, you know, personal grudges. It's just not me. It's not, you know, I'm beyond those years in my life. I'm still with TradeNet. I get asked that all the time. You know, what service do you work with? Well, I do trade personally through Thinkorswim, which is through TD Ameritrade, and I also still trade with TradeNet. TradeNet's where I primarily do the majority of my trading. Why? I treat it like an insurance policy, you know, and I find it interesting that a lot of the feedback I get on my posts and stuff are relatively positive, but I get some very negative comments with some really strong opinions on this stuff, and I'm not out here trying to sell anybody TradeNet. Yes, I have an affiliate link. That's not because I'm trying to plug their website or their services. It's what I use. It's treated me good, and if somebody wants the opportunity, let them take it. You know, I'd just as soon you go through me as somebody else. But at the end of the day, I really don't care. You trade with whoever you want to. It has no relevance to my day. You know, yes, I get a little bit of a fee every time a new customer goes to TradeNet and they signed up under my affiliate link. But is that actually important to me? No. but I'm not going to turn it away when it's on the table. That'd just be foolish. You don't see me preach and do this, you need that, this is the only way, or this is the best way to do it, and, you know, you find your own way. I'm here to give some people some opinions, share my experiences, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, if you're strongly against it, I am not going to be the one forcing you or telling you you need to do it or you're going to hell or it ain't going to work out. I don't care. That's it. Plain and simple. I wish you the best. I'm not trying to spread negativity. You know, people ask my opinion and what I've seen on it, what is my experience, and this is my experience. If you have a different view or a different experience, that's okay. We probably would trade completely differently, right? We could sit down and talk about the same subject and would do totally different things, and that's okay. It's the beauty of this. That's why you don't see me bashing the people that have a negative comment. Okay, you don't like it, you don't approve of it, you want to cite, oh, it's against this or it's against that. Well, if you want to get that judgmental, you can take that road down anything in life that you want to argue. I don't want to argue. I want to trade. I want to live life happily, you know. But yes, I am still with TradeNet. It's been going on 2 years, I think, or a little over 2 years. Hell, I don't even look at it anymore, right? I use it. I like it. Works for me. Fits my needs. Never had any major problems with it. What about trading? You know, I'm still using the same techniques I've been. Yes, as I grow as a trader, as the years pass by, and things change, yeah, you'll see me add in new stuff or do something a little bit differently, and it's more of a comfort level, but the basic stuff is the same. You need an education. You need to learn what you're dealing with. How you go about that, that's your business. I'm not going to tell you to go to one particular service for your educational needs because it's the best education you could possibly receive. Bullshit. There's no such thing, people. There's no golden parachute in life that says this is how things are done. If they would, somebody would copyright that shit and everybody would be doing it that way because it's the best. Everything we do here has gray areas, some positives, some negatives, some things that are better, some things that aren't as good. It's part of life, you know. Trading's no different. You know, some people are going to charge you an arm and a leg for an education, and it's probably a good education. It's got most of the stuff you need to know, but it'll never have all of the stuff you need to know. Something as simple as tying your shoes. That's a very easy task. But what if you're trying to tie your shoe on top of a mountain, standing on one leg on a rock in a snowstorm with the wind blowing, and by the way, there's a goat behind you tickling your ass with a feather? Nobody trains you for that shit. You do the best you can. Trading's no different, right? So when it comes to all of this, right, there's no one answer, no one size fits all. Where do I think you should get your education? From where it makes sense for you. If you want to do it for free with YouTube videos, you can do that. I got the majority of my education for free through YouTube videos at first on my own. Then I didn't even think about the fact that there might have been other people having groups doing the same stuff, right? Didn't even, like, it should have been the first thing I thought of. Wasn't. I'm slow. I make mistakes all the damn time. You know, it's probably the one thing I do best. But you can get most of what you need to know there. You can read a book, right? What is the downside of a YouTube video education? Well, you're getting a very opinionated concept from a singular person with no real credentialing to back it up. And that's okay as long as they're not giving you any financial advice. They're just giving you information. What you choose to do with it is up to you. What if you get it from a book? Well, that may seem more credible because it's published, right? Oh, it had to go through something. Somebody else had to look at it before it could be published. Bullshit. Books published sitting on a shelf have one purpose in life: to sell somebody else's ideas in print to someone with the capability of finding it and buying it. That's it. the main downside I see with book education is that it is a snapshot in time. It's a document that makes sense at the time for a specific point. And when it comes to trading, you know, what I find is a lot of these authors really cherry pick the idea they're trying to sell. They can't show that to you unless they pick an example to illustrate that point, right? But if you do some looking, you can find an example to illustrate just about anything you want to show. And the problem with these books is it's a very small, minute snapshot from very specific instances. I don't think it's generalized enough. It's not like, you know, real world experience over the shoulder, doing it live and getting that real time feel for what's going on. Not saying it's not good. You know, read several books on it. It's a good thing. But it's not the end all be all. You need different sources of education. Mentoring. How about that? Mentoring. I'm huge on mentoring. Do I think you need somebody to hold your hand for all your decisions in life and everything you need to do with trading? Hell no. You need to be a grown-ass person and own that shit. If you want to play in big boy games with big boy people by big boy rules, you need to stand up and be ready for big boy consequences and big boy involvement. But at the same time, I don't think any of us ever start out, you know, fully being ready to be independent. So there's a need for that group and social learning aspect, right? Where do you get it? Well, you get it where it fits right for you. The most expensive service in the world might not have a personality or vibe that you can get with. The cheapest service in the world might not have bad information. Maybe they're just at a price point because that's what financially makes sense for the group and social aspect that they're pushing, right? Not everything's about money. Just because you can get something relatively inexpensively doesn't mean it's a crappy value. And just because you pay a lot for something doesn't mean it's the way to do business. There's a whole lot of give and take there. You know, there's some people with some mild opinions and mild education. There's some people with some strong opinions and everywhere from mild to wild education to back it up. Okay, who's right? None of it really matters at the end of the day if it isn't applied properly. You, the guy that mashes the button on whichever trading platform you so choose to use, that's your decision. You're a grown-ass person. I do believe you should be a grown-ass person to be doing this, but I don't think anybody else should be influencing who you choose to get your education from, who you trade with, and how you trade. Right? As long as you're falling under the legal guidelines, you're not breaking any laws. So at the end of the day, the only person you can blame for your success or your failure is you. All these people talking about this is a scam or that don't work, this don't work. Guess what? All of it works and none of it works. It all depends on how it's applied at what time and to what situations. That's it. And you can bellyache and cry about it if it don't work out, or you can take responsibility and go, I did that thinking it would work and it didn't. I either A, need to find a better way to do it so that I can have a more positive result, or B, I'm just not going to do it again. Short of that, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm sorry you had a bad experience. Wish you better luck next time. Don't be upset with me because I'm having a positive experience. Have I had negative experiences in trading? Damn right. Have I blown up an account here and there? Yes, I have. Is that something I do on a regular basis? Absolutely not. But the learning curve in trading can be brutal. You know? I had one day I was making great trades. Had nothing to do with the guy down the street getting off from work, drove his truck into a telephone pole, and electricity went out. Has nothing to do with my ability to trade. My ability to get onto the internet and close out the deals that I was in, and the overly large position size that I was taking relative to my total cash flow that I had available to be invested in was too high. Why did that turn into a crappy losing situation for me? It wasn't the trading that I was doing. It wasn't the trades that I was in. It wasn't a bad choice in the movement. It was a lack of understanding of the totality of the situation that I was in. Nowadays, I would not even think about getting into that position because I now know the outcomes of, when something like that happens. So I don't get it. That's one reason I ended up downsizing significantly. It happens. It wasn't the bad trade. It was bad karma, bad luck. Can I hold anyone outside of myself responsible for being in a trade at the time when that dumb shit happened? No. Because guarantee you, if you're in a trade on the good side and something ridiculous happens and it goes in your favor, you're going to be the first person that's standing on the table going, give me my money. I was in the right. This was out of my control, but you owe me. So don't get upset when you're just on the wrong side of the coin. You don't like being on the wrong side of the coin, find a better way to stay on the right side of the coin. It's just like when people, you go to people for education and they say, this is how it's done. And you try and follow that. Every day you can watch them being successful. Every day. And then you follow them every day and you're like, shit, it's not working out. It ain't working out for me. God, am I missing something? Am I just dumb? Do I not understand? Well, you're on the losing side of the equation. If they say, this is how I do it, this is what I do. If you don't fully understand it to the level that they do, you're not at their level. You're not going to have their success rate. You're not going to have their fortune. If your bank account or your trading account, however you want to word it, right? If your investment capital isn't at the same level as theirs, you can't take the same shares with the same risk and same liability. So it's not the same. They might show you their technique. Their technique might work for them, but will it work for you? Maybe. Just the difference in the amount of money that's on the table with potential to be traded, not actually used in the trade, potential to be traded, changes the game immensely. How much dollar value or share sizes you take in each trade changes the success or failure viewpoint greatly. Some people highly believe in paper trading. Some people highly are against paper trading. What's my opinion? It's a tool. Use it as a tool. Can it be a crutch? Yes, it can be a crutch. Can using crutches too often leave you crippled? Yes. But not using a crutch when you need a crutch can leave you crippled. I'm not going to be the ignorant asshole that tells you this is how it's got to be done. If you can find a better way than me, great. If you'd like to share that with me, even flipping better. Because I'd love to be a better trader. I think we all have room to improve. Some of us more than others. And that's okay. But don't berate and belittle people because they don't understand something or they understand it in a different way. What, should we shoot all left-handed people because they don't write with their right hand? My God. Do we not sell them ink pens because they're not used in the proper hand? No, that would be foolish. We don't do that. We find ways to coexist. We find ways to make it work. And it's a zero-sum game. Every time somebody wins, somebody loses. So, if you're talking to a bunch of people that are losing, they're going to give you a negative outlook. If you're talking to a bunch of people that are winning, they're going to tell you a good positive outlook. And that gray area in between on what you hear is just going to be based upon their experiences or their desire to give you an accurate representation of the road they've walked down. There's a lot of bullshit in this game or career, whatever you want to call it, this line of what we do. Understanding the market. It's a very complex relationship. There's so many moving pieces, and what worked, 5 days ago might not work tomorrow. And what worked 10 years ago might still be relevant today, but might not be the biggest deciding factor, right? you got to understand what's going on around you. A lot of the basic stuff we're taught, and when I say we're taught, I'm saying like generalized knowledge, support, resistance, EMAs, SMAs, what a volume weighted average price is. You know, these technical indications and terminologies that we go with. This stuff isn't new. This stuff is like, I mean, it's being taught as what we need to know right now, but this is 30 or more year old stuff. This stuff has been around a while. It's not new. When you look on a platform such as Thinkorswim and you look at all of the indications and studies, there's literally hundreds of them, probably thousands. And that's just the ones that are on the damn site. You can create your own. You can dig up stuff that used to be there but ain't there no more. You know, and some people's stuff is more popular than others, works a little better. All of them worked at some point in some time for some situation. Doesn't mean they're wrong, doesn't mean they're right. But they wouldn't be there if they didn't have some value, right? Do I think you need all the indicators in the world? No. Do I think you should run a naked chart? No. You run the level of indicators and charts and different viewpoints that works for you. Some people need simplification. You put too many choices on the table, just like in their personal life. What do you want to eat? I want cheeseburger. Well, how would you like a cheeseburger plain? Would you like one with bacon? Would you like a double cheeseburger? Would you like that as a Whopper or a Happy Meal? Oh, dude, I need a cheeseburger. You just overwhelm that person. Because that person can't handle that many options, that many things on the table at once. They're overloaded. Conversely, there are people that go, I'd really like a cheeseburger. And you go, okay, let's go get a burger. And you're like, whoa, pump the brakes, kid. We ain't even thought about this. We you know, like, I don't just want a burger. I want the option of burgers. And when I get there, I'll make the choice that seems right at the moment. So I need all of these options on the table because today I want the best burger I can put my hands on. That's okay too. It takes all kinds. Not everybody's going to read the chart from the left, and not everybody's going to read the chart from the right. Not everybody's going to see price action the same. And none of us, get this, none of us, doesn't matter how good you are or how shitty you are, none of us have all the information we need to make the right choice 100% of the time. Most people don't talk about that side of the coin. I'm right. Oh, I was right at least this much, so I'm better than somebody else. Well, I feel bad, you know, I like trading, but I'm not as good as that other guy. Bullshit. It's all relative. If you need better data or better platform functionality than what you currently have available, well, if the answer is you're using a free platform, then you're probably going to have to come out of pocket to get those things that you need that aren't offered in a free platform. Does it mean they're not available? No. But let's change the equation. How much money are you willing to spend on a platform? If the answer is zero, then your position is you will have to take what's available for zero input on your part. That's not one thing's right or one thing's wrong. That's you making a choice in a position and having to deal with what comes with that level. Conversely, if your budget says you've got up to $1,500 to spend per month just on the platform that you use, it's your business. If you need certain features for you to see the data and the conditions the way it is, then you spend the amount of money to get the tools you need to give you the viewpoint you need. I don't like laptops. Never have, never will. Even if I can get the same data, you put the damn thing anywhere on my lap, and I hate the heat coming off the bottom of it. Put it on a desk, I'm not comfortable because of the relationship to the screen and where the keys are, and screen's too small. Some people don't like a bunch of big monitors. I don't like a bunch of small monitors. I'd rather have less monitors of a larger size. You know, do you need a fast computer? No, you don't need the fastest computer out there. Can I do it with a slow computer? define slow. There's a certain amount of, yes, I can get into this and learn it at this level with this computer, this equipment, but it might be good enough to learn the theories with, but not good enough to use and practice for live trading. That's a reality you have to live with. You know, there's going to be certain barriers and entry points. We've all had them, you know. You can learn how to do this for free, but if you want to invest, it takes money. This is a game where money makes money. Without the initial input, you don't get the output. Garbage in, garbage out. You could have $1 billion bank account or trading account, whatever you want to label it. I don't care. Label it how you want to. But you could have $1 billion available to trade. That don't make you successful. But I can tell you one thing. If you've got $10 available to trade, your profit potential in the immediate future is very limited compared to having a larger supply of cash. That's just a basic fact of money making money, compounding interest, you know, percentages, gains, things like that. You know, kind of like gravity, it's always going to be on. Now, you can work within that. Can you make money off of a $500 initial starting money? Yes, you can. Should you trade options? Should you trade equities? Should you trade futures with that? You know, you can what if a million different scenarios. Can it be done? The answer is yes. Could it? Should it? Would it? Things just got complicated, right? What about price action? What does that mean to you? What does it mean today? Sure, people can tell you, oh, I know what's going up. Oh, I know what's going down. Well, how the hell can you have good earnings but bad price action after? How can you have bad earnings with great price action after? It's simple. That doesn't equate to the end-all, be-all of what price action is going to do. How come you have some days with ridiculously heavy volume? More shares traded than any other time over the course of a year. But when you look at the price action, aside from the initial move in the first 15, 20 minutes or so of the stock, all day long it was just a flip-flop between, like, say, 25, 30 cents. But it's still moving millions and millions and millions of shares. Did it have volume? Yes. Did it have price action? Not really. Well, if so many shares are traded, why didn't the price go up or down? Well, that's when things are getting shifted. It's not going up in value. It's just going around the block in terms of who's holding on to it. One person having a bunch of pieces, or a whole lot of people having a few pieces. Or one whale having a whole bunch of pieces, but wanting some other whale's whole bunch of pieces, and they doing a card trade on the table or under the table, right? Shares are being moved. But if the value ain't moving, doesn't mean it's, you know, everything is bad. But you got to look at these things like that, right? Sometimes there's a lot of price action. Sometimes there's no price action. Why in the hell does the price go way the hell up or way the hell down, but yet there's not that many shares moved? Well, because the driving factor for that particular stock on that particular day isn't volume, but rather value due to other forces that you're not putting into the equation. Bankruptcy, how much holdings they have, lawsuits, assets that are held. Maybe there's a labor dispute. Maybe there was a, you know, ingredient or necessary piece that just went up exponentially in price for acquisition. What if there's legislation that didn't exist last week but exists this week? That can greatly affect businesses, right? So you need to understand the market, and that price action doesn't always make sense. Volume doesn't make sense all the time, you know? So sometimes the best answer is to sit back and wait and watch. Learn a little bit. I use Fibonacci. I'm probably one of the few guys you're going to see out here on the internet that's, you know, did multiple videos from different angles, examine it, and really kind of diving into it. A lot of people touch on it and they give you the technical. This is what it is. Sure, I've did those videos too. This is what it is, because I think you should know what it is if you're going to use it. But very few videos actually show you the ins and outs, like how to use it. I use it every day. Love it. It works for me. Do you need to use it? No. Do I care if you use it? Nope. It's what I use. It was what works for me. I have found consistency using it. Your mileage may vary, just like every other aspect of trading. Whatever broker you use, if you're criticizing mine, I promise you, I found plenty of people that have criticized yours. At the end of the day, does that make any damn difference with what broker I choose to use? Not one bit in my world. You have a strong opinion about the broker I use. That's great. You're entitled to that. Do I give two shits one way or another what your opinion on the broker I choose to use is? Nope. Sorry. I'm not going to tell you to use them. Not going to tell you not to use them. You do you, boo-boo. Correct sizing and proportionality, right? How big are your britches? You know? Everybody, oh, well, that's too much or that's too little. Okay. We could relate this to a bar fight. How many people should you step up to? Easy. As many as you think you can handle. Or as few as you want to handle. But guess what? You never really are sure what you can handle on that day. Baddest guy in the world might trip on an untied shoelace right as he's about to walk into a fight that he's certain he can win. He's going to get knocked out. Trading is no different. Best traders in the world still take losses. Worst traders in the world still have wins. There's no absolute right, no absolute wrong. You got to find a happy medium that works for you. Proportionality. How many shares should I take? Well, it depends on how much money you have. I have this amount of much money. How many shares should I take with it? Well, depends on the amount of risk you're willing to take. Oh, I'm really risky. Okay. But how sure are you on this trade? Well, I don't know. Well, you've got questions. There's no one answer. You need a bigger piece of the puzzle. So a lot of times what I've seen is the guys that are successful doing this, it's not because they're better than you. It's not because they're smarter than you. It's not because they've got up earlier than you or, you know, had a better night's sleep. It's because the entirety of the aspects of their trading, they have found what it takes for them to be consistent. Your results will be your results. If we had the exact same money in our account and we took the exact same trade of the exact same share size at the exact same time, there's no guarantee we're going to get the exact same fill. Highly unlikely we hit the get out button at the exact same time. Our trades will always be different. You can't compare yourself to somebody else. You can't compare your success to somebody else, right? Just like, what's your stop loss at? Well, what's your personal level of what's uncomfortable to you? What's your bankroll look like? What can you afford to lose? What can you afford to lose before you start making bad decisions? That's something that I harp on a lot lately. People say, well, how big of a risk should I take? I don't know. When do you make the best decisions? Is it when you first get up in the morning, so you want to start trading right after you wake up? Do you need a couple of hours to get going and get your feet underneath you before your brain kicks in and goes, I'm present and accounted for? Some of us can be dumbasses until we've got a good cup of coffee or two and really get going. Other people are sharp right from the moment when they wake up. Other people are night owls. They like to get all their day behind them and then do their thinking at the end of the day. Takes all kinds. No one is right more than the other. You got to find the groove that you fit in. There's a lot of damn grooves. Right? So, services. They're out there. I'm no longer affiliated with them. You know, I always said I have zero interest in starting up a service. I really don't. It's a lot of damn work. I don't care whose service it is. There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that most people never see. Even something as simplistic as the video editing. Your best services and educators out there, they have an entire team that just does their video editing. Are there great services that don't have that? Yes, they do. And you can tell by the way it looks. Some are getting pretty good at it. You know, some people have handlers, you know, what to say, what not to say. Some people, you know, you notice they don't ever make videos right at the time they're doing it, or the narration comes after. It's not done live while trading. You get a shot of their trading and then you get them narrating it afterwards. Why? Because they need a filter, or they need time to think about it to put it together. This stuff is tough, you know, like it's, and the best out there and the worst out there. Sometimes we're on our game and other times we're struggling, right? You know, it's not always a successful venture, right? Sometimes it takes more work than other times. What's the right one for you? The one that fits. If you've got the money to spend on whatever training, go ahead out there. If you're watching my video, you probably don't have all the money in the world to spend, and you're probably trying, where's the best place that I can put my money to divvy up a section of it for education, a section of it for hardware, a section of it for account value, you know, a section of it for what if things go wrong. You know, and that's okay. We aren't all made of money, right? Not all of us started with a silver spoon. And I think a lot of the educators and the services out there, and however else you want to, you know, label these personalities we see that are either trying to help somebody or marketing themselves as trying to help somebody. But a lot of that goes, you know, like after a period of growth, some of it, they lose sight of what it's like to start from nothing. And then you have other people that's their entire shtick is starting from nothing and what's it like. And they never really address what's it like to get on top of the game and have enough to, you know, spend as you want without having to make all these really super critical. It's okay. You're at a level where nothing's super critical. You can have a bad day and it's not a bad day at all. And that's a great place to be. I'm happy for those people. Other people are struggling because they worry if they make the next trade, it ends their trading career. Maybe they need to sit and think a little bit more, add a little more to the pile before they take that next trade. And that's okay. The whole point being, the whole trading spectrum, it's big. There's no right answer. There's no 100% wrong answer. You know? And it's up to us as individuals to seek out information to help us make our choice. But at the end of the day, it's our choice. It's our goals we're trying to achieve. So what is your goal? You know, I wanted to improve my situation. Did I limit that goal or specify that goal? Nope. Never told myself I need to make X amount of money. I'd trade because I want more money than what I currently have. Do I have a dollar value attached to that? Nope, just more. So what does Nuke think is a good amount of money to make? Well, I'm not going to turn around and tell you I'm going to turn down $10,000 a day if it's in my pocket. But if I make $10 in a day and it's a really bad day, but I get in a trade and I made $10 and I think, wow, I'm glad I got out of that because I shouldn't even be here today. $10 is still $10. That's more. As long as I don't walk away with less, I'm hitting my damn goal. Is my goal right for you? Probably not. You got to find a goal that works for you. And I think some people's goals shoot them in the foot because I've seen a lot of traders that think they need to make X amount of money per day. Okay, is that achievable? Absolutely. But what conditions are you trying to achieve it under? Is it a realistic expectation when you have a $500 to $500,000 or $500 to $5,000 account? No. But if you're sitting on a $5 million account and all you're making is $500 in a day, what are you doing? Because what $5 million invested, you know, or to invest, 500 is inconsequential. All you have is 500. 500 is the end of the world. That's a huge number. So it's all relative to where you fit in, right? But it's good seeing you guys again. It's good getting back out here. I'm going to start making more. I'm going to start posting. I might not do it daily, but I'll try and get back on there and have regularly delivered content for you guys. Stick with me. Be patient. Send comments. Yes, I do try and answer my comments on the YouTube. However, communication works a lot better for me through Discord. So if you really want to just say hello or ask a question or kind of like chew the fat over something, Discord's going to get you a much better answer from me rather than what I'm going to be able to get to you on YouTube. So we'll try and get them going, get stuff started back up here, and it's good to be back, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the very near future. All right, see ya.